I'm going to explain to you the most basic story structure. Why? Well, because if you don't have a structure to your message, all you've got are facts and opinions, and they don't get our attention and stick in our memory as effectively as a story does. But you have to give your story a shape, a structure. And now I'm going to show you how. And the simplest structure you can give to a story is beginning, middle, end. Now, you might remember at school you were told that stories have a beginning, middle, and an end. And you're thinking, well, yeah, that might be true, but it's not very helpful. I mean, a sentence has a beginning, middle, and end. A paragraph has a beginning. An email has a beginning, middle, and end, but it's not a story. Well, here's what's actually going on in stories with beginning, middle, and end. And it goes like this. Okay, so assume you're trying to achieve something today. You're trying to get from A to B, right? Where A is where you are now, B is where you'd like to get to. And B is usually a better place than where you are now. Okay. Now, you might think that it's just going to be do, a nice straight line progress from A to B. Well, if that's the case, that's not a story because it's boring. So, for example, you say, well, I got up this morning and I intended to brush my teeth and I did. Well, that's not a story. It's boring. You wouldn't say that to anyone. Here's what happens in story. In the beginning, yes, you assume everything's going to go okay. So you set off on the journey, right? So in the beginning, we tried this. But then, woof, bam, it goes a bit crazy. Things go better, they go worse, they go up, they go down. Yeah. So in the middle, change happens. You get knocked off course. And so to get to the end, you have to think again. Right. So that's the basic structure of story. Beginning, where you're starting. Middle, something changes, something throws you off course, for better or worse. End, how you get back to where you wanted to be, or perhaps even a better place. That's it, beginning, middle, end. And now you know this structure. With no middle, with no change, there's no story. With no change, it's, I woke up this morning intending to brush my teeth and I did. Not a story. I woke up this morning intending to brush my teeth and the dog bit me. Okay, well, that's a story, because I had to go to hospital and then, yeah, okay, you get the idea. Something changed. That's why it's worth telling the story, because something changed and you had to adapt. You had to learn. That's what stories do. They show us how to adapt and learn. Now, there are 3 sentences that you can use right now to start to turn your message into a story. And the first sentence goes, at first. No. At first we were doing this. At first we assumed this. At first we set off to do this. Okay, at first, beginning. But then. So at first we assumed this, but then we discovered that. But then COVID hit. But then our competitors did this. But then AI. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anything that shakes things up, that's the middle of the story. Final sentence. And so we do this, and so we've adapted, and so we've set a new goal, and so, so at first we assumed this, but then we discovered that, and so now here's what we're going to do. So now here's the lesson we've learned, so now here's the change we need to make. That's the most simple structure of a story, and you can now use this structure to write a story-ish email. 3 paragraphs. First paragraph, here's our assumptions. Second paragraph, but whoa. Third paragraph, and so here's what I recommend. Okay, you could do a presentation with 3 slides. Beginning, middle, end. You can have a conversation with someone using this story structure. Well, you know what, at first I thought it was going to be really easy. But then, oh yeah, now you've got them. So this is the most simple structure of story, beginning, middle, end, where the middle involves some kind of shake-up to your assumptions. It's not just a straight line, it's a roller coaster.